Blog Talk Radio.
Hi, everyone. This is Marty McDermott, the president of Franchise Interviews, and I can't start today's show without speaking about NeoPost and their IS-280 postage meter. So think about all the time small businesses spend to process and send mail and packages. You know, if we spend just 15 minutes a day doing it, that's more than 7 full days a year focused on mailing and shipping, and that's just crazy. I recently spoke to NeoPost, and they told me that one of the smartest things to start doing today to save time and money is to use the IS-280 postage meter to handle all our mail processing without ever leaving my office. So here's how it works. The IS-280 weighs and then automatically tells me what postage amount my mail or package needs. Not only do I pay 6% less to send first-class mail, but time's also saved by not having to run to the post office in Easton for postage. The IS-280 allows you to spend more time managing business and less time managing mail. Now here's the great part. For a limited time, our listeners can get 6 months free by using the promo code FRANCHISE. All you have to do is visit neopost280.com/franchise and enter your zip code to see if you qualify, followed by the promo code FRANCHISE to lock in 6 months free. That's neopost280.com/franchise.
Blog Talk Radio.
Franchise Interviews. From Easton, Pennsylvania to Sydney, Australia, you're listening to Franchise Interviews. Franchise Interviews. Welcome to Franchise Interviews. Franchise Interviews has been giving an up-close, behind-the-scenes look at franchising and entrepreneurship. Listen to interviews with franchisers, franchisees, franchise authors, franchise experts, and attorneys. And now, welcome your host, Marty McDermott, and Franchise Interviews.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to a very special edition of Franchise Interviews, where for over 10 years now, we've been asking the Franchpreneurs one-on-one. I'm your host, Marty McDermott. I'm the president of Franchise Interviews, and we have a great show today. We're meeting with Ken McAllister, the president of MY SALON Suite. And founded in 2010, MY SALON Suite is raising the bar in luxury for salon entrepreneurs and consumers across North America. And we're going to talk to Ken about that in just a moment on Franchise Interviews. Stick around because we have a great show.
The Stone Coat Franchise Opportunity. Are you looking for a unique and lucrative franchise opportunity? If so, take a look at Stone Coat. With a patented process which creates a true stone finish on almost any wall or ceiling, Stone Coat is a true game-changing product in the multi-billion-dollar construction industry. Stone Coat is applied faster, cleaner, and cheaper than conventional quarried stone, which saves both time and money. With advantages in remodel and new construction of both residential and commercial projects, Stone Coat is a true crossover product. The Stone Coat franchise opportunity provides a low startup cost, low operating expenses, comprehensive training, ongoing support, and no royalty payments. For more information on the Stone Coat franchise opportunity, go to www.stonecoatfranchise.com. That's www.stonecoatfranchise.com or call us at 972-380-2700. That's 972-380-2700.
Franchise Teacher. Would you like to know how to franchise your concept or grow your franchise business?
Meet the experts at Franchise Teacher.
The goal of Franchise Teacher is to teach, coach, consult, and advise. The team of experts at Franchise Teacher will evaluate your business model and present you with a winning business strategy.
Franchise Teacher will help you decide whether or not your concept works and if it's franchisable. Franchise Teacher is proud to have over 30 years of experience in franchising as both franchisees and franchisors.
Franchise Teacher are developers of over a dozen franchise systems, which include brick and mortar as well as home-based concepts of nearly 3,000 combined franchise locations.
Whether you need to add more units or get more customers, Franchise Teacher can help. We will teach.
Franchise Teacher will help you learn our proven system.
Coach.
Franchise Teacher will help you provide a game plan to succeed.
Consult.
Franchise Teacher will make sure you stay on track.
And advise.
Franchise Teacher will help you learn from our over 30 years of experience in franchising as both franchisees and franchisors. Take advantage of our free, no-obligation phone consultation. Simply go to franchiseteacher.com or call us at 561-385-3032.
That's franchiseteacher.com or call us at 561-385-3032.
Hi, this is Connie McDermott, Administrative Assistant for Franchise Interviews, LLC, and you're listening to Franchise Interviews.
Franchise Interviews. From Easton, Pennsylvania to Sydney, Australia, you're listening to Franchise Interviews. Franchise Interviews.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to a very special edition of Franchise Interviews, where for over 10 years now, we've been asking the Franchpreneurs one-on-one. I'm your host, Marty McDermott. I'm the president of Franchise Interviews, and as we were saying earlier, we have a great show today. We're meeting with Ken McAllister, the president of My Salon Suite. And founded in 2010, My Salon Suite is raising the bar in luxury for salon entrepreneurs and consumers across North America. Hi, Ken. How are you? Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Marty. Thank you, sir.
Oh, it's great to have you on this show, Ken. We always like to ask our guests where you're calling from this morning.
Actually, I'm in downtown Detroit today, but we're based out of New Orleans. I'm up here, actually, we're looking at some real estate, actually out growing our business. We're up in Detroit looking at sites all over Detroit today.
Oh, that's fantastic. Is it a little cold up there today, Ken?
I don't usually go above my age of 50, so it's a little bit lower than that. So I broke a rule today.
That's fantastic. When I was studying this franchise model, Ken, and I said it's really fantastic. I mean, it really solves a problem in your industry. Maybe we can go back to the beginning and you talk a little bit about the history of My Salon Suite. How the whole concept came about.
Yeah, sure. Great question, Marty. It was about 7-8 years ago. My wife's uncle, his name is Al Ferrigno, and we call him Uncle Al, and Uncle Al had been in the salon industry for 40 years, and he started talking about this concept one night, and I was looking at it, and after he talked about it, again, it takes a building 4,000, 6,000, 8,000 square feet and compartmentizes like offices, but instead of offices for business professionals, lawyers, doctors, et cetera, it was business professionals for the beauty profession, and it was absolutely a terrific idea, and we started the first one in 2010. Two in New Orleans, and we had a couple in Sarasota, Florida. He had owned stores in Florida, a standard salon, and we in 2012 and 13 we started franchising, and by the end of this year we should be right at 100 stores. So it's going great.
That's fantastic, and it really does solve a problem, Ken, doesn't it? For your industry. Maybe you could talk a little bit about that, and what problem My Salon Suite has solved for a lot of people in your industry.
Yeah, I don't know if it solves the problem. It's an opportunity, Marty.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at the opportunity, stylists come out of cosmetology school. It could be massage, esthetician, and when they come out, it would take them anywhere from 10 to 20 years to save them any amount of money to start their own salon. And it gives it's a two-layer entrepreneur. We have our own the franchisees, but the owners are entrepreneurs. So it gives them absolutely an opportunity they never would have gotten. So I think that's the best thing about it is you're helping people all over the U.S. on all kinds of layers, have an opportunity, fulfill the American dream. So it's a terrific model when you come into it compared to any standard salon. It eliminates a lot of the obstacles that those folks would typically have in the marketplace.
What's the process like, Ken? I mean, if you could describe for our listeners, so it sounds like, the great thing about it sounds like, you don't really even need a receptionist, do you, to run this type of model, do you?
No, we created it more of a high-end gated community, and mainly we did it for the security of the folks in the stores. Some of the folks come in at 10 or 11, and then a lot of them come in after, 4, 5, 6, and it just creates a security like a high-rise in downtown Detroit, Atlanta, L.A., and so for the most part, they control their own hours 24/7. They come in and work on Saturdays and Sundays, and it really gives them, you're in business for yourself, number one. But the biggest thing is you have the flexibility to work 3 days a week, 4 days a week, and really the income level. You know, we have we call it the 100K club. That, you know, we really look for every stylist in our store to get to $100,000, which is pretty powerful, Marty.
That's fantastic. And how many suites do you typically have, Ken, like in one location?
Yeah, the size of the store really governs that. So we have stores from 4,000 to 12,000, 5 or 6. So it's a function of the market you're in. Higher, denser areas like Texas, California, some parts of Florida, you can go bigger stores, 4, 6, 8. And then smaller markets like Ocala, Florida, Grand Rapids, Michigan, Corpus Christi, Texas, we go smaller to fit the market. So you really fit the stores to fit the market.
That's fantastic. How has technology, played a role in this particular business, Ken? It seems like, there is, technology certainly utilized in the business, isn't it?
Well, technology obviously is every year it's changing and evolving. So I would say that's going to continue for the next 10 or 20 years. So you just have to adapt and evolve with it. So, actually it helps our stylists, the stylists in our stores, from scheduling to appointments to merchandising to e-commerce, that it actually is a benefit for them as the technology grows and they become the millennium generation, which is below my level. Those guys are going to kill it with this model. So I think we embrace technology. We think it's actually we're working on some great programs right now to enhance our stylists on that level.
It was very impressive. When we were looking at like the YouTube videos, Ken, on My Salon Suite. It's really, it's a very upscale too. I think even like they compare the bathrooms to like the Ritz-Carlton. It really is very upscale. And I think it certainly gives a perception of the quality. Which I think is fantastic. And you're part of a very big industry too, Ken, aren't you? And it seems like the industry. We've been doing the show now over 10 years. It seems like this industry continues to grow, doesn't it?
It grows on multiple levels. So a couple of years ago, we actually partnered with one of the largest companies in the country called the Ratner Companies, and they have over 1,000 standard traditional salons called Hair Cuttery. And they looked at it as another stepping stone in the evolution for the stylist to grow. And so the answer is yes, the market is growing, leaps and bounds on a wide range from tanning to eyelashes to nails and anything beauty related. It's absolutely growing on that level. So we're pretty excited on all those levels.
That's great too, because it seems like it's one-stop shopping too, Ken, isn't it? There's a variety of different services, of course, you can get in a My Salon. You don't have to go to point A to point B to point C. Everything seems to be under one roof, which is fantastic. What's been one of the most interesting things that's happened to you since joining My Salon Suite? Does anything stand out, Ken?
I just think the biggest thing that stands out for us is the opportunity for all the owners, and then growing the business. Again, there's like 4,000 franchises. We'll get to 100 stores in less than 5 or 6 years, where it takes most companies about 10 years. So I think that's a big opportunity. Like today, Detroit. Everybody looks at Detroit as a kind of a struggling city, but we're having phenomenal growth in Detroit, Michigan, all over up here. So there's a lot of what you read, and then there's perception, and there's reality. So people ask, why don't I sleep at night? And it's really about opportunity. How can you capitalize on the opportunities in the marketplace?
Right. Maybe we can talk a little bit about franchising, Ken. Because the majority of our listeners, we call them aspiring franchisepreneurs. Most of them have it in their mind that they'd like to get into franchising. What types of characteristics do you look for then in your franchisees?
Well, obviously there's multiple. The difference between franchising and a traditional job is you're working for somebody. And franchising as an entrepreneur, the real thing is you're working for yourself. I think what we look for, you're really investing in yourself, just like our model. So our model is a little bit different. So we're looking for partners that obviously fit a certain realm. I go back, if you watched the movie The Founder, we look for partners that are going to be engaged in the business, are excited about the business, want to help grow the business. Look for all those facets, because at the end of the day, there's 3 levels of success. The first level is the success of the stylist. If we go out and do our job and helping them succeed, then our franchises succeed, and then we succeed. So it's once they grasp that concept, again, it's a little bit different than most standard franchise models, but it's actually a win-win-win. It's a 3-win.
What is the training like, Ken? Once you decide, you do like them, they like you. Is there any type of training involved, and where does that typically take place?
Yeah, the training we typically have in our corporate office in New Orleans. We travel around, though. We have different meetings where we have stores. So that's, again, everybody has pretty much the same process. You're evaluating the different companies. And it's no different than a job for the most part because they're interviewing us and we're interviewing them.
Right.
So that's done in New Orleans for the most part. And then there's extensive training throughout the process, how to build the stores. I compare it to like riding a bike. We help them find the stores. We help them build the stores. We help them locate the stores. We help them fill the stores. Again, when you have stores that succeed, it's phenomenal. So, again, we do it on multiple levels as far as training them. And it's ongoing, Marty.
Right.
So, that business, if you think you're going to sign a franchise in it, regardless of us or anybody, it's ongoing. You're going to be working at it every day. But the biggest part, you're working for yourself. You're not working for somebody else, and you're investing in yourself.
That's terrific. What is, if you could describe, Ken, a typical day like for a My Salon Suite franchisee?
Well, there's really 2 or 3 different phases. The first year, you're spending a lot of time, just like today, we're going to be out looking at probably 20 or 30 sites all over Detroit. So the first year, you're really looking for sites. And in any brick and mortar, it's about identifying the right real estate. After you find the real estate, there's another 3 to 6 months of construction. And then once you get into the operations for the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years, the operations side is really, it's like similar to a hotel. It's about occupancy, number one. So you're always recruiting. And then the second part is retention. But the biggest part, of that equation is helping, again, the stylists. We have marketing programs. We have partnerships with like L'Oreal, Paul Mitchell, different companies nationally that we do training for them technically and we do training for them business. So in 5 years, a stylist in one of our stores will absolutely be much more valuable to the marketplace than any other stylist in the market.
That's terrific. What do you look for in a site, Ken? I mean, you're out, in Detroit right now. I mean, what do you typically look for when you're looking for that location?
There's multiple things. Obviously, to me, it's real estate, location, finding a high-end. We typically look for high-end shopping malls, big retail trade areas. And then it's all about value. We're not the traditional soft goods where we're selling some type of product. We're service-oriented, so people will find us. So we're in those bigger centers. We're in smaller centers. We're in second floor, first floor. We're downtown. So pretty much in any market we can go. So it's really about the demographics. It's a science. It's all about the data. And the data will actually, just like today when we're done, we'll look at 20 sites, and there'll be 2 sites that just stand out that are the best opportunity today. Marty, real quick, I'm standing right now. We got 12 people going on this tour today, and they're all looking at a map right now, looking at the city, and they're all waiting for me to come to that meeting. Where's Ken? We need some. I'm sitting there going, they're like, keep looking back at me. I told them I had a 30-minute conversation.
Oh, that's
with you,
funny.
So they know.
we should have got them involved in the interview, Ken. That would have been.
No worries. I should have.
That's terrific.
It's like working for real estate in your residential. If do you want 4 bedrooms, 3 baths? It's the same for commercial. Just let the data help you make the decision. It's a business decision. Don't make it emotional. We just don't get emotional. We look at, hey, is this going to be successful long term?
Yeah, that's so important. When I was studying your background, Ken, and it seemed to me like, in studying your history, I mean, you have all these characteristics of an entrepreneur. And when I have someone like yourself on the show, we usually ask the question, what advice would you give to our listeners in their quest to buy a franchise? Because as there's a lot out there today. And, so a lot of our listeners in the beginning, when they're starting to look for a franchise, they're confused. So, I mean, from everything you've learned up to this point and all your experience, what advice would you give to our listeners in their quest to buy a franchise?
Marty, that's a loaded question. So I think there's a lot of opportunity. So the first thing I would say is, take some type of action, start looking.
Right.
And really it's a fear factor. Most, just like myself, if I had to go back, and I started at 7 years, I worked for corporate America for 25, 30 years, and if I had one regret, I wish I did it 30 years ago. So, the sooner you start working for yourself, you have a lifestyle, find something you have a passion for, and take action on it. So just get involved, and there's a ton load of folks out there. The Internet's a world of information, but there's a ton load of folks out there that can help you find the right, and again, the franchise models. There's a right franchise model out there, whether it's a pet grooming, yogurt, pizza, Salon Suite. There's a lot of different opportunities that you can actually enhance your lifestyle by becoming an owner of a franchise.
Yeah, I think that's great advice. So as the president of the company, Ken, I could ask you the next question. I mean, where do you see My Salon Suite? Maybe if you could look into a crystal ball, like 3 to 5 years down the road, where do you see the organization?
Yeah, so from a growth standpoint, we'll be at 100 stores in the first quarter. So when you look at franchising or any model of the 4,000 or 5,000, most of the stores, I think the ratio is like 1 in 6 ever get to 100 stores, and usually it takes them 10 years. So we'll get there in 2018, and then 2020 we'll be up to about 250, and then 2025 we'll be at 525. But the biggest part is not the growth, Marty. I think the biggest part, you got to go back to the foundation, is that it's all about it's success, and the success of our owners. But again, we're in the people business. We're here to help our owners, but we're also there to help the stylists in the marketplace. And we accomplish those things, and they're successful. Everything else will roll into place for us.
That's fantastic. What's the best way for our listeners, Ken, to get more information on becoming My Salon Suite franchisee? Are there any websites that you'd like them to go to, or any numbers that they can call?
Yeah, absolutely. Just go to the best thing, since everybody's, just go to the website. Just type in My Salon Suite, it'll pop up. It's we'll be in the top 2 or 3, and then click it, and there's an application you can fill out in a number that somebody's on there pretty much all day long. That if you call in or email, they'll get back to you within 24 hours and get you in the process.
That's fantastic. Well, I've enjoyed having you on the show, Ken. Again, I think when I was studying this model, I said this is really fantastic, and I think it makes a lot of sense. And I like how you described it as it's an opportunity, which is really fantastic. And I'd already like to invite you back next year as you continue to grow, because I'm going to be following My Salon Suite for the next year. That's for sure.
Excellent, Marty. Thank you so much, and congratulations to all the folks out in the audience, and happy Turkey Day, and gobble gobble.
Absolutely. Happy Thanksgiving to you, Ken. And we'll be right back with more franchise interviews. Coming up on segment 2, you're going to hear what every franchipreneur needs to know before buying a franchise. We're going to play a clip from our popular Great Quotes in Franchising podcast right here on Franchise Interviews.
Are you looking for a franchise that delivers? Businesses will always need shipping, and for more than 25 years, loyal customers have depended on Unishippers for reliable savings and exceptional customer service. Unishippers is focused on just one thing: helping small and medium-sized businesses save time and money on all their shipping needs. And as the largest reseller of complete shipping services in the country, we have the buying power to ensure that we succeed. The Unishippers franchise offers low startup costs, no equipment or real estate required because they're not retail, residual income, and a quality of life and work-life balance. For more information on becoming a Unishippers franchisee, go to www.unishippers.com and click Franchise Opportunities, or call Franchise Development at 801-708-5822. That's 801-708-5822. Franchisers, are you looking to reach aspiring entrepreneurs looking to buy a franchise? Are you looking to reach a highly educated audience on franchising? For over 8 years, Franchise Interviews has been giving an up-close, behind-the-scenes look at franchising and entrepreneurship through our website, franchiseinterviews.com, where you can hear and read interviews as well as get tips from some of the most successful sources in franchising. Our weekly franchise radio show, where each week you get to hear a new interview with franchisers, franchisees, franchise authors, franchise experts, and attorneys, and our podcast, Great Quotes in Franchising. For more information, go to franchiseinterviews.com or call us at 610-905-2919. That's 610-905-2919.
Today's Great Quote in Franchising is being brought to you by
Franchise Teacher.
Would you like to know how to franchise your concept or grow your franchise business?
Meet the experts at Franchise Teacher.
The goal of Franchise Teacher is to teach, coach, consult, and advise. The team of experts at Franchise Teacher will evaluate your business model and present you with a winning business strategy.
Franchise Teacher will help you decide whether or not your concept works and if it's franchisable. Franchise Teacher is proud to have over 30 years of experience in franchising as both franchisees and franchisors.
Franchise Teacher are developers of over a dozen franchise systems, which include brick and mortar as well as home-based concepts of nearly 3,000 combined franchise locations.
Whether you need to add more units or get more customers, Franchise Teacher can help. We will teach.
Franchise Teacher will help you learn our proven system.
Coach.
Franchise Teacher will help you provide a game plan to succeed.
Consult.
Franchise Teacher will make sure you stay on track.
And advise.
Franchise Teacher will help you learn from our over 30 years of experience in franchising as both franchisees and franchisors. Take advantage of our free, no-obligation phone consultation. Simply go to franchiseteacher.com or call us at 561-385-3032.
That's franchiseteacher.com or call us at 561-385-3032.
Hi everyone, this is Marty McDermott, the president of Franchise Interviews, and welcome to another edition of Great Quotes in Franchising, where each podcast you get to hear a great quote in franchising. You know, we've been hosting Franchise Interviews many years now, and during that time we've had some incredible quotes and lessons on our show. And if you go to our About Us page on franchiseinterviews.com, you'll take notice on why we started the podcast and radio show Franchise Interviews, and it suggests that every business has a story. And that's really been our experience in doing all of these podcasts and radio shows. Is every show we do, you'll notice that every franchisor, every franchisee has an amazing story related to franchising. Today's Great Quote in Franchising podcast comes from Tony Luffy. And Tony Luffy is the Chief Executive Officer of the Marlowe Investment Group. And the Marlowe Investment Group are franchise owners of some very popular franchise systems such as Little Caesars, Sizzler, Jack in the Box, Arby's, Church's Chicken, and most recently Sears Appliance and Hardware stores. And Tony talks about the difference between opportunity and regret. There's another great quote relating to opportunity. And again, we talk a lot about opportunity on our weekly radio show. It's said that luck is when opportunity meets preparation. But let's hear what Tony says about the difference between opportunity and regret.
That we've been able to do on a large scale.
It's amazing. If you go back to the beginning, Tony, I mean, were your goals, I mean, today, I mean, you're as large as like 200 plus units, but I mean, back then, I mean, when you go back to the beginning, I mean, was that your goal in the beginning, or was this kind of like just like a natural progression over time?
It's both. Really, when I, in the early 90s, when I finally became a partner, a 10% partner of a small company, I wanted to get to 50 units before I turned 50. So I don't know if that goal was really feasible in my head, but that was the dream. But the goal, the most important part of it was I wanted to be an entrepreneur, I wanted to be independent, and I wanted to allow my ability to manage people and work with people to develop into something that was bigger. I didn't know the size, nor did I plan for it to be a number of revenue, whether it's 10 million or 5 million, whatever it was. It was really finding a way to make a living and support my family, at the same time satisfying my personal need, which is to be an entrepreneur. And really, once that took place, it was more about the opportunities that came our way. And I always say the difference between opportunity and regret is being ready. So if you're ready, you see the opportunity as an opportunity. Otherwise, you spend a lifetime regretting the fact that you missed the opportunity. So to me, it's about being ready. And I've always worked so hard to make sure that we are ready for whenever that opportunity came our way.
That's fantastic. We have this Great Quotes in Franchising podcast. We're gonna put that quote in there, Tony, if you don't mind. I think that is very powerful. Maybe we could talk a little bit about your company. I mean, the Marlowe Investment Group. I mean,
If you'd like to hear that whole interview with Tony Luffy, all you have to do is go to franchiseinterviews.com, and you can go to our franchises listed alphabetically page and simply go to the Marlowe Investment Group, and you can hear that whole interview. We have that interview also in our About Us page, and you can go to franchise interviews by category as well and go under the food category, because that's where most of Tony's franchises are located within his portfolio. And lastly, we'd just like to thank everyone for making this podcast such a tremendous success. It's amazing how many people have listened to the podcast over the years, so it's really been wonderful, and we'll see you again soon with another edition of Great Quotes in Franchising from Franchise Interviews. Take care, everyone.
Franchise Interviews. From Easton, Pennsylvania to Sydney, Australia, you're listening to Franchise Interviews. Franchise Interviews.